What we're witnessing is the fall of toxic media narratives that thrived without accountability and the rise of real new media.
Welcome to Prima Donna News, where I'll be giving you all of my commentary regarding all of the trending topics that I find interesting. If you haven't already, make sure you check your notifications to make sure they're set on all. That way you're not missing any of my uploads. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already.
I don't need like to get poppin', but these bitches in my business come me out to choosing violence. If you see me out in public, you don't know me, keep it silent. In the bedroom, I be screaming, but outside I keep it quiet. You know I'll stay out.
Before we break down the accusations involving infamous Sylvia, we have to start with who Cecil McCrary really is, according to actual news reporting from people.com and law enforcement sources. This isn't internet rumor or YouTube hearsay, these are verified news reports. Cecil McCrary, 56 years old and from Mableton, Georgia, is a man who, according to Cobb County Police, has been charged with murder and other felony offenses in connection with the death of his girlfriend Tange Davis. Police say Davis, 45, was reported missing by her son in October 2025, when he hadn't heard from his mother in days. McCrary initially told police he last saw her at his home and even showed them security footage. But after detectives interviewed him, authorities say McCrary admitted to killing her and burying her body in Atlanta, and police subsequently found remains based on information he provided. At the time of the alleged murder, McCrary was on pretrial release for prior allegations including kidnapping and aggravated assault, and police had responded to multiple domestic violence calls involving him and Davis before this tragedy. He is not charged with murder in the commission of a felony, aggravated assault by strangulation concealing the death of another, 2 counts of theft, and the previous kidnapping and assault charges. This is the documented public record about who Cecil McCrary is, a defendant in a serious criminal case that has drawn local and national media attention. With a case like this gaining attention online, commentary channels naturally react, but things got heated when some viewers and critics started claiming that YouTube blogger infamous Sylvia doxed McCrary's family members during her coverage. Let's break that accusation down. The term doxing refers to the publishing, so when people started accusing infamous Sylvia of showing or reading out names of family members, revealing connections outside the public record, or otherwise sharing private info of individuals not involved in the public legal case, critics began calling that doxing. But here's the key point. Many channels reference court filings, arrest records, and news reports, which are public by definition, but calling it doxing requires showing that private info was shared outside the scope of the verified public record. The situation escalated online for 3 key reasons. 1, real crime situation. This isn't a meme beef. This is a deadly alleged crime that has affected real people. 2, emotional audience. Viewers don't want families of victims or defendants dragged into commentary or speculation. 3, the blurred line between reporting and opinion when creators discuss a case. Some viewers interpret anything beyond dry facts as personal targeting, especially if family members' names get mentioned. That's why some accused Sylvia of crossing a line, even though the underlying criminal case involving McCrary and Davis is real and well documented. Here's the distinction. It's essential for all creators and commentators to verify what is public record versus what is speculation, especially when people's names and reputations are involved. This isn't simply an online feud, this is a real criminal case that affects real families and communities. Commentary channels have a responsibility to respect factual reporting while avoiding unnecessary harm. If you're covering or talking about a serious case like this, make sure your information is based on public, reliable sources, doesn't expose private, non-public individuals, doesn't repeat unverified claims as fact. Because once private people get pulled into the spotlight, the consequences can be serious even if the intention wasn't harm. Let's talk about something that keeps getting intentionally misunderstood on YouTube, and that's the difference between freedom of information and lack of integrity. Because lately, certain bloggers, including infamous Sylvia, have shown exactly how confusing the two can be dangerous. And this isn't about opinions. This is about editing choices, reckless releases, and playing with people's private lives under the false comfort of, well, it's public information. Yes, freedom of information laws exist, but what some YouTubers don't seem to understand is this. Just because information can be obtained does not mean it should be released without discretion. Freedom of information is about access, not entitlement to recklessness. And when content creators start releasing jail calls, unfiltered audio, or poorly edited material that leaks private or identifying details, that's not reporting. That's negligence dressed up as journalism. Here's the part that exposes the lack of integrity.
Here's what I'm not saying they don't care. They really don't want to know the interests of it. Okay. Since he's at the status where he is, where he was let out, right? He went to the public and then he committed a crime. So the public interest for this case is really, really, really strong. You understand what I'm saying? So it outweighs the privacy that he would have of being protected as a private information. You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay. For example, the conversations that he is having, a lot of inquiring minds wants to know what was going on in his head. What is he thinking? What is going on? Why did he went out? Why did he do this? And it's given some insight to the public of what this man was thinking. This is why we are able to get these calls. Okay. There is redactions done in calls like this, right? That's why when he's spewing out, because phone numbers are not considered privacy, because most people's phone numbers, you can get it from the directory. You can get anybody's phone number that's in the directory right now, unless it's an unlisted number. Okay. You can go to your cell phone or on the internet and type up a phone number. You can do reverse listing and you will see who owns that phone number. Okay. So that the privacy part on phone calls and phone numbers, it's no real privacy. Even addresses. If you own a property and somebody put that address in the system, they will find out who the owner is of that particular property. That's why you get so many stupid junk mail, because your information, once you purchase a home, it's on there. The only way it doesn't show up is if you put the house under your trust account or something like that. So that is public information. I know they get so worked up about these calls. Okay. If Cecil did not do what he did, these calls would not even be a issue for us. Okay. The family, I mean, it's only one person. I can't say the family. Let me just stick to that one person. One person constantly keeps hopping on me, making it seem like instead of dealing with the issue of who committed the crime, he's like so focused on me playing these calls. Okay. I understand you're upset. I understand that you don't want your conversation. That's why you be very careful. How many times did his family members say, hey, don't talk over the phone. Don't say nothing over the phone. And he continuously say stuff over the phone that he shouldn't be saying.
Editing is not optional. Editing is where names should be muted. Addresses should be removed. Family members should be protected. Irrelevant private details should be cut. When creators fail to do that or worse, choose not to, it shows they are chasing clicks, not clarity. And then they hide behind phrases like freedom of information, public record, fair use. That's not a shield. That's an excuse. This exact behavior is why people like me won't apply for certain things using our correct personal information. Because we see how careless some YouTubers are. We see how documents get flashed on screen. Audio gets played without redaction. Private info slips out accidentally. And then creators act shocked when there's backlash. That tells me everything I need to know about the lack of common sense being exercised.
Off the wall, and then he threatening like that? Are you serious?
Yeah, he threatened me. When you saying you're gonna put somebody to the wall,
To the cross.
right? And then okay, can I ask you, what does IRS have to do with me putting out a video?
That's how we know Bozo has something to do with it. Why the man gonna say that? Why the man gonna say? I mean, if you think about it, he doxed people. And he used that as a threat.
But I'm saying IRS, man,
Like
IRS,
you got something you running from. Like you got something you running from, right?
Yeah, IRS know I already owe them already, so they.
He woofing. They don't know. He's just talking. But when he hear these calls, if they're hearing them, they'll see how their brother or family member is putting them out there.
If you can't protect information in your own content, why should anyone trust you with theirs? There is a clear difference between reporting facts responsibly and playing internet detective with people's lives. Some YouTubers are no longer reporting stories. They're chasing them, emotionally charged, poorly vetted, and dangerously close to crossing legal lines. And the problem is, you don't feel the heat until it's too late, until someone gets harmed, until a family gets targeted, until law enforcement, attorneys, or platforms step in. That's when creators suddenly remember boundaries. This isn't about censorship. This isn't about silencing commentary. This is about basic common sense. If your content requires disclaimers every 5 seconds, if your audience has to warn you in the comments, if you're constantly defending what you meant, then maybe the problem isn't the audience. Maybe the problem is how you're handling the information. Freedom of information does not mean freedom from consequences. Integrity is shown in what you redact, what you choose not to upload, and who you protect, even when it costs you views. And until some YouTubers understand that, they'll continue confusing reporting with recklessness and journalism with playing with fire. This is Prima Donna News, where common sense still exists and integrity isn't optional.
If you support the work we're doing here, it's simple. Like the video, share it, help the channel grow so this information reaches more people. If you'd like to contribute to the growth of the channel, you can support directly at Cash
If
App.
you've been craving something sweet, it's time to place your pastry orders. You can message me directly or visit my website at www.primadonnapastries.com.
The time has come for this cookie. Nom 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 nom. Oh, nom 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 nom. Ha. Bye bye.